there are some Lost Hearts updates in this video, but before I get into those, I'd like to take this opportunity to recognize some people for commenting suggestions for how to make videos better and for just words of encouragement during the 30-day challenge. So that was awesome and really did help motivate me to get through the 30-day challenge, especially on those days where I didn't feel like doing it anymore, when I didn't feel like pushing forward on a project or pushing forward on an issue I was having. So that was awesome. I'm going to take these comments and I'm going to post them somewhere on the screen, and then you can pause the video here if you'd like to just read some of them and just see how awesome these people are. So, second bit of news is the channel has broken 100 subscribers, which is awesome. This is mostly in part to the channel was mentioned in a video by GameDev Journey called the Godot game engine will change your life. So I'm not going to spoil the video. I'm not going to go over it here. The link to that video is in the description. But I encourage everybody, if you're unaware of that channel, or you haven't seen that video, to go to that link and go to that video and watch it. It mentions some other Godot channels as well, which I think you should all check out as well. But just go hit that link. It was a really awesome video. The channels mentioned, besides my own, are all they're way more knowledgeable than I am. So please go check that out. So, and then with all that being said, I just want to mention and say how warm of a welcome I'm feeling from the Godot community. I haven't been making videos that long, and it's really encouraging and really awesome and just cool that it's just that the Godot community has been so welcoming, and I can't accurately express how I'm feeling when things like this happen. When I get something that says, "Hey," a constructive criticism on the video that's like, "Hey, try this," and I'm like, "Okay, I'll try that." Yeah, I'm not an expert. I'll try that. Or it's like, "Oh, this video is really awesome. It's really motivating me." Or just like to mention in GameDev Journey's video, it's awesome. I don't want to ramble on and on and on, but I just want to express how awesome it is and how warm of a welcome I'm feeling from the Godot community. And this is just an awesome community. Thank you. Thank you, everyone. So, without further ado, let's get into updates about Lost Hearts. So far, and as you can see, some things have changed. So the center tile tiles correctly. I think it tiles a lot better. I have some other tiles. So, cool thing I found out. I know it's not Godot engine related, but about ASE Sprite. I do not know how to pronounce that. Is that I figured out, or that I found out, was you can actually do test tiles. If I just go to view, this is the single tile, this is the center tile. If I go to view, tile mode, both X and Y axis, it'll actually show me what it looks like tiled. Awesome, great, amazing. So that kind of really motivated me to get all of these tiles. And then after I got these tiles done, I decided that I didn't know what other tiles I would need to complete a level. So I switched gears because I don't know what tiles I need to make the level look the way I do, and I was going down this rabbit hole I didn't want to go down, where I'm trying to make everything perfect, and that's not the goal. So let's hop over to the project, and I can show you the other things I tinkered around when I got stuck on the tile sheet. Okay, so you'll notice that we are outside right now, and the reason we are outside right now and not in the project is I tweaked how the skull works, and more importantly, how skull recovery works, how the player gets the skull back after they shoot it. So it was really confusing to explain this in the project, so we're outside because I think this is better, and I think this will be more entertaining. So, what was the problem? The problem was when the player would launch the skull and it would hit something, it would come back. The player couldn't immediately launch it back out, and this was unintentional. So why this was happening was I was using yield.
And my original purpose for using yield, which stops the execution of a function, is because I wanted the skull to get clear of the player before they could recover it. So how I changed it is I got rid of yield. And now what I do is I wait until the skull gets a certain amount of distance away from the player before the player can recover it. So that is a lot better and is a lot better way of collecting it. It means that I'm not waiting, I'm not stopping execution of a function. I'm just waiting for this skull to get a certain amount of distance before I allow the player to collect it. So this just worked like a charm compared to yield. This was just a better way of doing it. But what happens if the player is within this certain amount of distance before I allow them to recover it? So like, let's say I'm this close to something and I launch the skull, it hits something, and then it bounces back, but it never left the distance that I can recover it within. So what happens is I changed how that works. So what happens is when the skull hits anything, it tells the player, okay, now you can collect me. So as soon as it hits something, it says, okay, you can collect me now. So that's what it does. So I think the skull recovery works a lot better. I've also tweaked how the physics works on this skull. When you launch the skull, there's no gravity. It goes in a straight line. There's some bugs with that, which I will go over later. So hopefully you understood that, and hopefully that was entertaining to watch. So let's get back in the project.
Okay, we're back in the project, and if you look at the old side, you'll see that the player gets the skull and then has to wait a little bit before they can spam it again. Right there. So I'm actually spamming that space button at that point, and it's not going anywhere. And if you look at the new side, you can see the second I get it, I'm able to use it again. And then if you look at both of them, you should be able to notice that the skull acts differently in both. But what I really want to call your attention to is this. What you'll notice, besides me dying a bunch, is that the skull goes right over the slimes. So I knew this might be a problem when I developed the slime character, because they're too low to the ground, and that's the issue. So that's the next thing I need to fix. And the slime character is right down here. One thing you'll notice, the slime character is taller, and that means that the skull won't go over it. And this is a work in progress. I've just worked on the animation. You'll notice that it's a lot slower. I think this is a perfect first enemy for the player to encounter. It's not threatening. The likelihood of the player dying, I think, is pretty low. And we'll just defeat this real quick. And there we go. So that's the new slime character.
So that's progress on Lost Hearts this week. Hopefully you found that entertaining and maybe a little bit informative. For next week, I really want to work on the tile maps and see if I can get that done. So hopefully I'll see you there in next week's video. Have a good day or night, whatever time it is, wherever you're watching this, and have a good one. Bye.